In this video, we will look at the past tense pronunciation. We'll talk about how we pronounce ed in the regular past tense. Let's get started. We use the past tense to talk about actions that started and ended in the past. So if an action started and ended in the past, we use the past tense to describe what happened. We can talk about what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what happened last year. For regular verbs, we form the past tense by adding ed. There are a few more rules, but for this lesson, we'll focus on this main rule. So, for example, the word to walk becomes walked. We add ed, walked. Let's take a moment to listen to the pronunciation. Mopped, walked, watched. Mopped, walked, watched. What sound do you hear? Mopped. Did you say T? T. You're right. Mopped, walked, watched. Let's look at some more pronunciation. Cleaned, played, listened. Cleaned, played, listened. What sound does ed make? D. You're right. These words, ed has the d sound. Cleaned, played, listened, d. Let's look at a few more words. Pay close attention to the pronunciation. Painted, tasted, visited. Painted, tasted, visited. What sound does the ed make? Did you say id? You're right. Painted, tasted, visited. Nice work. What is going on? How do the same two letters, ed, make different sounds? We pronounce ed differently in different words. Ed can be pronounced as t, d, id. So it has three pronunciations: t, d, id. The pronunciation depends on the final sound of the original verb. To make the t sound, the verb ending will be an unvoiced consonant. To make the d sound, the verb will end in a voiced consonant or a vowel. And to make the id sound, the verb will end with a d or a t. What does this mean? Let's talk about our consonants. Here's a list of all of the English consonants. So consonants can be voiced or unvoiced. A voiced consonant will use both air and voice. The air makes sounds like p, k, t, f, and the voice makes the g, d, v, r, l. Let's take a closer look. B is a voiced consonant. B, 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 b. D, d, g, g. J, j. L, l. M, m. N, n. R, r. V, v. W, w. Y, y. Z, z. All of these consonants are voiced. That means they use air, b, p, p, and voice, b, b. Unvoiced consonants. Unvoiced. Unvoiced consonants will use air, but they won't use any voice. So we'll get sounds like p, k, t, f. Let's take a look. K, f, h, k, p, s, t, x. These are our unvoiced consonants. They only use air, k, h, t. They don't use voice, no voice. Let's take a look at a few comparisons. In this section, we will compare voiced consonants, b, b, with unvoiced consonants, p, p. Big, big. Pig, pig. Cab, cab. Cap, cap. Let's look at D, 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 and T, t, t. Notice how the mouth position is the same. The only difference is that the D is voiced and the T is unvoiced. D, t, d, t. Door, door. Tore, tore. Bad, bad. Bat, bat. Let's look at G, 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 and C, k, k. Voiced G, g, and unvoiced C, k. Game, game. Came, came. Bug, bug. Buck, buck. Let's look at V, 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 and F, f, f. Notice how the mouth position is the same. The difference is the voice. V, f. Van, van. Fan, fan. Let's look at Z and S. We have Z, Z, and S, S. Zip, zip. Sip, sip. buzz, buzz, bus, bus. Last ones, we'll look at J, 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 and CH, 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 j, ch. Jeep, jeep, cheap, cheap. Ridge, ridge, rich, rich. ED. The past tense ED has 3 different pronunciations, and the pronunciation depends on the verb ending. The first pronunciation of ED is t, t. We use t when the verb ends with an unvoiced consonant. We use d, d when the verb ends in a voiced consonant or a vowel. And we use id, id, when the verb ends in a D or a T. Let's take a look at a few examples. Mopped. We already saw this earlier. Let's take a closer look at the sound that comes right before the ending ED. Mop, p, 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 p. Walk, k, k, k. Watch, ch, 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 ch. These are all unvoiced. P, k, ch. Since they are unvoiced, they will get the t pronunciation. So we have mopped, walked, watched. Let's look at this example in more detail. The present tense walk, 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 ends in an unvoiced k. So it becomes walked, walked. Notice how there is 1 syllable for walk and 1 syllable for walked. Let's look at these words. We have cleaned, clean, played, play, a. Listen, listen, These are all voiced sounds. The N is voiced. A is a vowel. All vowels are voiced. So this ED ending is pronounced d, d, the voiced d. Cleaned, played, listened. Let's look at an example in more detail. Listen, listen. Listen has 2 syllables and it ends with the voiced consonant n. Listen. It is voiced. Listen. So listen becomes listened. D. It has 2 syllables. Let's look at this set of verbs one more time. Painted, tasted, visited. Paint, Taste, t, t. Visit, t, t. These all end in a t sound. Since D and T are so similar, when a verb ends in D or T, we add a whole extra syllable. We add id. Paint becomes painted. Taste becomes tasted. Visit becomes visited. Id. Let's look at this example in a little more detail. Paint. One syllable, paint. T, t. It ends in a T. Since the verb ends in a T or a D, we will pronounce ed as id. Painted. Painted. Notice how adding the id ending makes an extra syllable. We go from paint, one syllable, to painted, two syllables.